TOS S1E24.
Bow with a body bang da bang diggy 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 said the boogie and up jumped the boogie. Bow with a body bang da bang diggy 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 said the boogie and up jumped the boogie. Our names are
Wait, does that make me technically Pat C?
I think that does make you Pat C. Oh man, I forgot about Joe C. Joe C grounded Kid Rock. After Joe C died, Kid Rock really went off the fucking handle. Before that, he was just like, I'm a badass, I rap real good, everyone likes me in every hood, and like, you know, it's like, I like smoking weed, I like chicks, I don't like... never mind.
Well, that's him now.
Well, yeah, that is him now. I don't like slur.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think if Joe C was still around, I don't think Kid Rock would be saying any of this stuff that he's saying now.
Definitely
Joe C
not.
was just like you gotta like look at what you're saying. Look at what you're saying. You're better than that, kid.
Right. He looks at him in the eye and he's like, and I thought I was the little man. Kid Rock's like, damn, dude, damn.
You fucking got me.
Yep. Yeah. He would have appealed to his sense of empathy and humanity, and yeah. And after Joe C died, so did Kid Rock in a way. Like the Kid Rock that would have fought inequality rather than. Right. But then again, we don't know. He's probably always a piece of shit.
Yeah. He's like a rich kid from like the suburbs of Detroit. Like. Yeah. You know. Cool.
Yeah, which is funny that's why he's now this like good old boy, you know,
from down south.
Just like, down south. Yeah,
South Detroit. Like what is it? That doesn't mean much. You're in the Midwest, man. You're a Midwest. He's a Midwesterner, like cosplaying as a Confederate flag.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I found weird when I moved to Seattle. Like I was surprised because like I think I got there and one of the first things I saw was somebody with like a Confederate flag hanging off the back of their truck.
That's weird. That's one of the first things you saw.
Northwest.
I mean, was it in Tukwila or like?
It was in Bremerton.
Oh well, there you go. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, there were open Nazis in Bremerton. There was like Nazi skinheads and
yikes.
So
big yike.
Yeah,
double yike.
Yeah, and I think I probably told you when I was moving there, like my friend Rachel. Mm-hmm. Like she's like, what's your gonna be address? Like, oh, I'm gonna be living in a place called Bremerton. She's like, oh, just like the MXPX song. I was just like, what? She's like, yeah, there's a song called Move to Bremerton, and sure enough, the music video is all like the sights and sounds of Bremerton. It's about moving to Bremerton.
Oh yeah, like the abandoned shipyard, like the 4 bars, like
Yeah.
the trashy neighborhoods. Like, oh cool, yeah, I'd love to move
The
there.
racist punk bar.
Right,
Yeah, it was
right.
all there.
Yeah,
I was like, cool.
neat, awesome, love that. Speaking of racists, today we're going to be talking about Star Trek TOS, episode Space Seed, otherwise known as the Khan episode.
Yep.
Yeah,
And,
but
there is some, I guess, what are you gonna call it? Like, I guess, like Indian face.
oh, brown face,
Green
definitely.
face.
It's brown face. It's brown.
Well, I mean, Ricardo Montalban's already Mexican. Like,
That's
so
true, but it was a different kind of brown, and he's definitely
Yeah,
like
a
wearing
different kind
brown
of brown.
makeup, and so like it's brown face, but just a different kind of brown. Yeah. But before we get into that, let's talk about our
Patreon.
over at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. That's patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. What do we got there, Pat?
We got everything.
Yeah, for $2 a month, you can help support us and keep us editorially independent and ad-free.
Ad-free.
Oh, yeah. For $5 a month, we say thank you to people with names just like Iggy, Abigail Simpson, Vinny, Phil McCavity, Danny, Dylan Lance, Jordan Hale, Elizabeth Hearn, Aluna Dahlia, former Twink, Nathan G, DJ Robinson, Papa Poison, Awful Star Trek Drawings, Jose Martinez, Gabe Siciliano, Gursky, Jormore, Kyle Simmons, Nick Savard, Shane Sawyer, Anthony Cabrera, Seb, Robert Yolito, Asher Pliskin, Professor David Craning Sights, Electric Baphomet, Dandy Leone, B Flick, Teddy, Jody, Shrimp God, Shane Williams, Sam Mayo, Block Phenyl, Skeptic, Gillian McCrary, SFC Punk, 7F9, Star Trek Enjoyer, D. Riker, Ethan Adams, and of course our good friends over at the Hate Speech Podcast. Give them a listen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's our list of people who help support us. We really appreciate all those people. Let's see, what else we got on there? For $10 a month or more, you get access to
The Media Dungeon.
you get access to the Media Dungeon, which is my private server. It's got a bunch of media on it. What media, you ask? Well, over 20,000 films. You're not going to find a library like that anywhere else, not Netflix. They got a measly, 2,400 films, like an eighth of what I got. Come on, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Yeah, we did get Netflix again, and there's some insane movies on there, like absolutely bonkers insane movies, like I don't know if you heard about the film Atlas starring Jennifer Lopez.
No.
It's a sci-fi movie that's sort of like Blade Runner, sort of like Aliens, sort of like Starship Troopers. But it's basically like J-Lo going into a mech suit, and the mech suit is AI, and it helps her with her trauma and helps her come to terms with why it's okay for her to commit genocide on a group of robots and torture them unlawfully.
This is so brat. Atlas, more like Bratless. Am I right?
Bratless.
Oh,
Yeah, I was like, there's a very gratuitous scenes of J-Lo just committing really serious acts of torture, and then like it's her like just genociding an entire race of people like that her mom created, basically. So
It's
sorry,
like
that's a
it's like
spoiler.
killing all your
I'm
siblings.
spoiling this really terrible movie for everyone.
So it's like killing all your siblings, basically. That's
Yeah,
got to be top of the pack.
yeah, it's an awful cast because it has Simu Liu from the Shang Li in the Five Rings, and of course he was in Barbie, and he was like one of the Kens.
Okay.
And but yeah, god awful movie, and of course like J-Lo is like an analyst type thing. Do not recommend. It's just like furthering. It's kind of like almost a movie that Starship Troopers was trying to be, but unironically.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best way I could describe it.
Well, that sounds miserable. Let's see what else we got on our Patreon. We for $20 a month, you get merch every single month, and I gotta send out merch for last month. Still haven't done that yet.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. They're our most understanding fans, but they always get their merch. You always get your merch, people.
Yeah. Did you make some of those Ezekiel 2320 shirts?
God, I need to. I've been thinking about that.
Yeah.
I should put the actual quote on the back. That'd be funny as fuck.
I like just keeping it like that, so some people think it's just like you're a very religious person, and then people who have actually read the Bible will just be like, wait.
That's that donkey dick scripture.
That's the donkey dick scripture.
They got that donkey dick scripture going. Oh, I know they know a thing or two about that. They got that donkey dick scripture on that shirt.
Just wear it to church. Just go to church, some random church, and just sit in the front row and just wear that shirt. And
the pastor probably, I don't know, they probably don't know that. Probably only assholes like us know that.
Well, I mean, like, I think to be a priest, you basically have to know the Bible back to front.
No, you fucking don't.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to like take tests on it and have read it, but not know it back to in front. It's a long ass book, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's their job. You know, they have to know that Bible. I bet if you go to any priest,
but they're dumbass people, man. Come on, they've committed their life to like serving like. I mean, there's of course some of them who are smart, but like, like a lot of them aren't like super critical thinkers. A lot of them like misquote scripture or interpret it in like all the wrong fucking ways. Like I can't believe these are like highly educated people who actually really know what they're talking about, and like, you know, actually know the book they're talking about super well, like to where they actually like can quote scripture if you just say it, except for like the stuff that they've done for sermons. You know, the stuff that they have to know, like, you know, the big verses, you know, like the Lord's Prayer and Austin 3:16.
I think we should test priests. Just go like find like a bunch of real Bible quotes and just like test them, like kind of like obscure ones, and see if they can recite it verbatim. Right.
Oh no, just Ezekiel 23:20. That's it.
Yeah, just Ezekiel 23:20. But
we should actually.
But I bet you
that would be a funny like man on the street thing to do. Is like just go up to priests at like a priest convention or something and go, just take the mic, put it to your face and go, Ezekiel 23:20, and then just put the mic up to their face and like wait for their response.
Wait for them to quote it.
Yeah.
No, I have faith that I don't know. I think priests do have memorized the Bible basically.
Oh, you have faith now. Sounds like someone.
I have faith of the heart.
Sounds like someone accepted Jesus into their life.
I know. I'm just saying. I think that's part of their job is they learn the Bible.
Like some of them know it really well, I'm sure, but I would not say the majority of them know it that well.
No, I think most Catholic priests can recite it, but I think like most insane pastors and stuff probably not.
Right.
I'm specifically talking about Catholic priests, because like Catholic priests, I think, you know, they have to. It's part of their schooling.
Yeah, I mean, they have a more rigorous training for that, I think.
Yeah.
You can't just go to fucking Bob Jones University and get a fucking degree in undergrad in theology and fucking make it.
No. But I even think some of those guys, like some of those people are very just like insane and will have memorized the Bible just to just spit scripture at you. In the Book of Eli, he fucking memorized it, and he had just the Braille version.
That's a movie, dog.
But he memorized the whole thing, and we didn't even know it was a Bible until the end. So
right.
Spoiler again. I'm just spoiling movies.
Oh yeah. Why don't you make the big spoiler that we also learn at the end of that movie?
That he's blind.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Oh, I said he read it in Braille.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, so you can have sight and read in Braille.
Pat spoiler hour.
Yeah.
This is just Pat spoils movies for everyone.
Boo. Yeah, so that's our Patreon at patreon.com/dumbIdiotBS. That's patreon.com/dumbIdiotBS. And also go listen to our other podcasts produced by Dumb Idiot Bullshit. The Media Dungeon, Prison Breakdown, My Wife, Dumb Idiot Bullshit, and Getting Head, a Bucket Cast. So yeah,
of Friends.
We are here today to talk about some Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
Some TOS, some original Star Trek, 1966, baby.
Yeah, I don't do the TOS episodes enough.
Yeah, we don't. We really don't. I mean, it's kind of rare because like Star Trek airs pretty regularly, so it's almost rare that we do episodes because what's it called? Lower Decks is coming back on, I think, the end of this month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hells yeah.
And so we'll be reviewing season 5 of that every week.
Which is the final season?
Yes, correct.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. It does suck, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we're here today to talk about another show that was unfortunately untimely canceled, Star Trek TOS. The episode from season 1, episode 24, Space Seed, which first aired on February 16th, 1967. It is the 25th episode produced for TOS, but the 22nd released in TOS. It is the 22nd episode released in all of Star Trek, of course. This one was written by Gene L. Kuhn and Kerry Wilbur. Kuhn wrote 12 episodes of TOS, including Arena, Bread and Circuses, and Spock's Brain. Some very good episodes there. I mean, not Spock's Brain, but, he wrote some good episodes. And it was also co-written and had the story by Kerry Wilbur, who also wrote for Bonanza, Lost in Space, and Tarzan. And this is his only episode of Star Trek.
Oh, wow.
It's directed by the legendary Mark Daniels, who directed 15 episodes of TOS, including first episode, The Man Trap, but also the episodes, both episodes of The Menagerie. He also did The Naked Time, Mirror Mirror, I Mud, and Spock's Brain. All except for Spock's Brain. Great episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, he's tied with Joseph.
Basically some of the more iconic ones.
Yeah, right. He's tied with Joseph Pevney for directing the most number of TOS episodes altogether. So, are you ready to jump into this episode?
I am. It was funny because, like, when you first said Space Seed, I was like, wait, did we already do that episode? And then I think we just talked about it a bit and doing, obviously, like, the Wrath of Khan.
Right. Because, I mean, this episode is, like, fundamental and important to that episode. And I watched this episode before I watched Wrath of Khan. So, just giving myself some context.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's get into this. We open on the Enterprise flying through space. We encounter a spacecraft sending out a signal in Morse code. Are they still using Morse code that far in the future? That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
I guess it makes
It's
sense
obviously,
because the ship is from hundreds of years ago, so that doesn't.
Yeah, and they're also like they've obviously based a lot of their own military system after like the Navy, and I feel like that's like a pretty common, it's almost you have to learn it considering like, especially with ships, with like the, lights or something, you can easily transmit messages. And so it's like the most basic method of transmitting a message, and there's multiple ways you can do it, like either by like tapping any like radio signalers, doing send it through radio or lights or anything. Like it's almost like a universal method of communication.
Fair. Okay, glad we cleared that up. Captain Kirk recognizes the ship is old, but Spock says it's real fucking old, being built in the 1990s. So interesting. Wow. Good to know. We finally got those in 1990.
I like how positively they predicted like the 90s would have been. It's like, nope, sorry, we don't have cryogenic spaceships. We just invented grunge.
Right. Yeah, fucking the butthole surfers had a hit. So
that's
cool.
I fucking love butthole surfers.
Yeah, I saw them live at a festival. They were pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. So,
I'm jealous.
Yeah. Spock identifies the vessel from its outer hull markings as the SS Botany Bay, but finds no registry of the ship in the computer library. The records from that era are fragmentary, as in the 1990s, it was the era of the eugenics war. And I have one question about this. So, in this universe, the Beastie Boys were releasing music during the eugenics wars? Because this is way before the Kelvin split. Yeah, right? So, like, nothing changed before that split in time. And so, the Beastie Boys, I guess, are like an active band during the eugenics wars and releasing somehow the exact same music, regardless of the fact that, like, a world war is going on around them.
Well, sabotage probably takes on a whole new meaning.
Right.
It's probably like a call to arms, or like, no sabotage, those eugenics people.
Right. Yeah. So,
and presumably they also know about Spock, and seeing as like Spock is a real person in this timeline, that just means like Spock at some point went back in time and hung out with the Beastie Boys.
That would explain it.
Yeah. He just went back and he's just like, you just want to party. That's very logical.
Very
logical. See, like, your mom threw away your best porno mag. Like, I can see why you just want to party.
So, faint life signs are detected on board, and Kirk has the ship go to red alert as it closes in on the mysterious vessel to investigate. The Botany Bay takes no action as the Enterprise approaches, and the only life sign are faint. Kirk orders Scotty and Dr. McCoy to join in a way party to board the ship and investigate the readings. Kirk also requests the services of the ship's historian, Lieutenant Marla McGivers. And she be looking good, baby. Yeah.
She be looking good, baby.
That's what I love about TOS is that there's always somebody with a very specific like function on the ship that they barely get used.
Right.
So they're just like, who the fuck is Marla Givers?
Yeah.
And she says,
quick, what's the name of the ship's historian, Mr. Spock? I don't know. Let me look it up.
Yeah. Her position on the ship is almost useless.
Yeah.
Like, and this is like the one time where it's like, oh, I actually can be useful.
I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe she's keeping records of like what's happening on the ship, because that could be useful in a way. I think. I don't know.
I mean, I kind of think so, but also every time they go, they do away teams. Like, they always have like a woman there. That the woman's function is always to like be recording everything, and so like I think her thing is like, oh yeah, I know Earth's past. and she just spends most of her time in her room just painting hot dudes from history. Like guys that she thinks are hunks, historical hunks,
right?
And that's how much free time she has. So.
Right? Yeah, she's just like, I bet Pol Pot had a big ass dick.
She's just painting a yassified Pol Pot. And he's like a hunk, and he's like sitting on a throne of bones, and he's just like with this giant bulge in the front of his pants.
He's drawn fucking Hitler like Tom of Finland.
Yeah. I mean, I can see. I bet if like Hitler did see Tom of Finland paint drawings, he probably would think they were cool.
Yeah.
Like,
this is very good. That's very good shading. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
he would
style.
appreciate it artistically, and also how Tom of Finland depicts like white guys. He'd just be like, yeah, of course, that's the Aryan ideal right there.
Right. Wow. I want to taste the pure white cum.
Yeah, I can see like Tom of Finland just showing him the more safer work type ones, and then he's like, "Oh, do you have any more? Let me see some more of these manly man drawings you have, Tom of Finland." He's like,
I'm an artist too, Tom.
Yeah.
Starts rubbing his shoulders.
Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah, like Hitler enters his Tom of Finland phase. He's like just sort of like unknowingly copying like Tom of Finland and just drawing guys the same way. But but like they always keep their clothes on, but it somehow comes off more perverted and sexual than Tom of Finland's graphic stuff. It's like, Tom of Finland looks at him like, "You're a fucking freak, dude."
So in the transporter room, Scotty takes note of the life support systems on the Botany Bay coming back on, as if the ship is expecting them to transport over. Spooky. Spooky. The away team beams over, and Scotty confirms that the vessel is Terran in origin, using old-style atomic power and computers with transistor units. McGivers speculates that the ship is a sleeper ship designed for long periods of interplanetary travel due to the limits of space travel technology in that era until the year 2018.
Whoa.
Cool. Okay. Neat.
I like how we surpassed both of these dates.
Right. Still hasn't happened. We don't have space technology for shit, and like, I don't know. Yeah, we've got the world's two richest men competing over like who can have the better private industry space service that isn't going to do anything functionally interesting or useful whatsoever.
Yeah, I feel like if anyone's going to have like significant space exploration, it's not going to be America. Like,
it's going to be China.
Yeah, like we're pretty much just like putting all of our eggs in with Musk, which I feel is like a massive disaster, or has been a massive disaster. Mm-hmm. It's like we're relearning how to launch rockets. For some reason, we haven't like successfully figured out how to launch rockets again.
Cool.
It's like we just have like, again, another man, inspired by Hitler, not Tom of Finland. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk would be so much better if he was into Tom of Finland. Oh my God. He would be. Tom
of Finland was inspired by Hitler, but I mean like the Hugo Boss side, just like because he always said like. He said, like, "Oh, the Nazis have very sexy uniforms." And
and to be fair, they did. Like, it sucks because they have like a corner on that market, so you can't dress too much like a Nazi, even though it does look cool. Like, I want like a big black tight overcoat that like, has a big bell on the bottom, kind of, but. With a bunch of buttons, but you can't really do that without looking like a fucking Nazi.
No.
Sucks.
Yeah, Tom of Finland, that's what he took from, because he served in World War II, I believe. But, like, that's what his takeaway from Nazism is. Elon Musk, he took the ideology side.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, Hitler affects all these people differently, but yeah, we're trusting it into Space Hitler to blow up rockets over and over again with government money. So
fuck yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be China.
Thank
who's
you.
Going to like,
Thanks for using my tax dollars for that, Congress.
yeah,
I
exactly.
really fucking
Thank you for funneling our
appreciate
tax dollars
that.
to Elon Musk.
Yeehaw.
So he can buy a website. But
So one of the life units on the ship is activated, and he'd be looking good.
She be looking good, baby.
oh yeah.
Though he's definitely in brown face.
Oh yeah.
Kirk.
Well, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And like, it's like they just found like a Mexican guy, and they're just like, that'll do.
Yeah. We can't find an Indian
It's just
actor
like-
in fucking Hollywood in like what, the fucking 1960s. I guess they don't exist, so we're gonna go for the Mexican guy and just make his makeup a little more brown.
yeah. Yeah, and it's like, you know, that was a different time where that was okay.
I guess so. Different time indeed. So Kirk asks McGivers if this could be the leader of the people, and she says it's likely as the leader would be awakened first to determine if circumstances warranted the reviving of the others. She also speculates that the man could be Northern Indian and Sikh, noting that they're the most fantastic of warriors. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, she's already getting like insanely horny.
So fucking horny.
She's just like, oh my god.
A leader.
Wake this hot piece of man up from slumber.
I mean, it's Ricardo
About to jump his
Montalban, to be
arms.
fair. Like,
Yeah, Ricardo Montalban, he is a very attractive man. All the way
is.
up until his Spy Kids appearances, and
yeah,
he was like the grandpa in the flying wheelchair.
right. That was sick. Um,
Yeah.
So Scotty reports that there are 84 people held in suspended animation, all of varied ethnic origins. He says Westerners, Mid-Europeans, Latins, and Orientals. Which apparently that word is acceptable again in the future. They took it off the ramen, but like not this guy. It's now soy sauce flavor, but fucking Scotty's saying Orientals. Cool.
That's what's funny is like after moving out here back East Coast and New England area, like there's a magazine called Oriental Trading. I'm just like, wow.
Oh yeah. No,
word.
like the really that sells the really cheap shit. Yeah, that place is kind of awesome. Yeah. I like that Oriental Trading Company. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I thought we got rid of that word. Guess not, but yeah. But apparently it does come back a bit in a big way in the future. So.
Yeah, that's a great place to get like cheap like company products, like cheap swag, like branded pens and shit like that. Real good place. For
that's I looked through it and I was just like, okay. This seems there was like a bunch of Halloween stuff in there, but it's like Halloween stuff you can pick up at like TJ Maxx or like
Home Goods
or like a hobby. Yeah, it was like a
party store,
any hobby shop.
Right.
Yeah, party store or hobby shop would have it. Yeah.
So the life support unit malfunctions, likely due, they say, to a buildup of dust. So like wouldn't like a
Where
dust
does the
filter
dust come from?
Well, dead skin.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I feel like a dust filter, but they're in suspended animation. So are they shedding skin still? I don't know. But yeah, you feel like a dust filter would be like a primary concern on a spaceship because there's a lot of people there for a long time, like just shedding skin. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Wild.
Well, like you said, like I mean, like it was supposed to be only like till 2018, and they got off course. So, like they weren't meant to be out that long.
Right. So, as McGivers begs Kirk to save him, he breaks the glass on the stasis unit to release him. Taking shaky breaths as he regains consciousness, the man asks how long he had been asleep, and Kirk says 2 centuries. Kirk flips his communicator open to request that McCoy and the man be beamed aboard the Enterprise immediately for further medical attention. Next we see McCoy, who is conducting an analysis on the unidentified man in sickbay on the Enterprise. And he's doing a full analysis. He's got his pants down, and the man's asleep. He's like, Sergeant, is that as good for you as it is for me? And he wakes up, he's like, what was that? He's like, nothing, nothing, sir.
He's like, let me take a stool sample, and then he sets up like one of those little toilet seats, but it has like no bottom, and then like McCoy sits on like one of the one of those little roller beds you go and use to get underneath your car, and he rolls underneath and just opens up his mouth. He's like, stool sample, I'm ready to take your stool sample.
Taste. Is this how the 1990s tasted?
He's like, he can taste some of those McDonald's French fries.
Oh yeah, I fucking love the old ones fried in beef fat. Hell yeah.
Say, oh, these are made in beef tallow.
So McCoy is doing a medical analysis on him, and he touches his dick, and the man awakes, and he's amazed. He's amazed at the physical and recuperative power of the man. Aboard the Botany Bay, Scotty notes that 12 of the life units have failed and that their occupants have consequently died, leaving 72 alive from the 1990s, 30 of the survivors being women. I don't know why he notes that, but he does. He's like, and all of them got to be single, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
12 of them were partnered, but I took care of that.
He's like, I'm gonna have a big day in the med bay, and he just sets up a whole roll of toilets. Just like
so Spock can find
takes his belt, loosens up his belt. He's like, it's gonna be a long day.
Punch that clock. So Spock can find no record in the vessel in any of the computer libraries. Kirk suspects that since Botany Bay was the name of an Australian penal colony, they might have given the ship the same name, and this might have been a way to deport criminals. Spock disagrees, saying it would be a seeming waste of Earth's then most advanced spacecraft to do this, but he doesn't have an alternative explanation. He also notes the extremely low probability that a vessel of this type could have survived for so long and managed to leave Earth's solar system. Kirk orders Lieutenant Spinelli to have the Botany Bay put under tow and to set course to Starbase 12. It's crazy they have 12 star bases already here, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
This is like early Federation, man.
I mean, there's limit. Like, they set them up the further they go out, but yeah, I mean,
still crazy.
They have good. Yeah.
Well, so in sick.
What was their max level of warp at this point?
I don't know, like 5, I think, or 6. So, in sickbay, Kirk arrives to speak to the mysterious man. McCoy notes his superior bodily strength and efficiency of his lungs, hinting he may be a fucking augment. McCoy estimates that the man could lift both he and Kirk with one arm, and he's like, yeah, Jim, you could probably pick us both up and fuck us like we were ragdolls, Jim. Really go to town on our holes in my twinky little bussy. Toss me around like the piece of meat I am, Jim. I'm not a human, Jim. I'm not an alien either, though, Jim. I'm a piece of meat, Jim.
Wouldn't it be fucked up if he picked us up and swallowed us like babies and just held me really close and told me everything was going to be okay, and then like he tried to nurse me, with his breast, but nothing came out. But what if it did? And he just held me all night and then like sang to me and pet me and burped me, and just imagine he could do that and it would just be like us picking up an infant ourselves.
Baby horny, Jim. Baby real horny.
McCoy has just like a crib. He's like an adult baby. He just has a crib inside of his quarters that he doesn't let anyone see. It's like behind a false wall. It's like, oh, Jim.
It's a bookshelf to fucking get into it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Bones, your quarters seem smaller than standard quarters. What's going on here? He's like, oh, I don't know. Oh, this wall doesn't look standard issue, and yeah, it's just like a whole playpen and a whole diaper station. Like, fuck.
He has just a giant sized koala diaper station hanging on his fucking bedroom wall. Yeah. Baby made a mess, Jim.
I finally found someone who can fulfill my kink. I had someone that can literally pick me up and swaddle me. You know how exciting this is for me.
God damn it, Jim. I'm a baby, not your doctor.
You know how hard it is to get a fucking medical degree? You know how much of my life I sacrificed? You know how comforting it would be if I could just return to baby? Do you understand, Jim?
I want baby.
I want baby now.
So, yeah. He tells Kirk that it would be interesting to see if the man's brain matches his body, if you know what I mean. It's like, does the carpet match the drapes? If his brain matches it, it's like, what if he gives us brain, Jim? What if he pulls out both of our dicks and just starts sucking away until one of us comes? And that's going to be you, Jim, because I don't like to come. I get real shy, Jim.
That's what he means when he just says he has a very impressive brain. It just means he has that quack quack.
He got that garak ack.
Yeah.
So McGiffers arrives while Kirk chides her on her performance on the landing party. She admits to finding the man fascinating and being distracted by him, but purely in a professional way. Is her position on board as a historian is paramount. Kirk thanks her for admitting this, noting, if I can have honesty, it's easier to overlook mistakes. And then he dismisses her, which sounds like some pretty good management skills from Kirk here, not gonna lie. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So later, man awakes from his slumber and does some fucking yoga. Then, hearing Bones at work, the man notes a scalpel amongst a collection of antique medical instruments on the wall. He takes it and moves back to his bed, feigning sleep. McCoy arrives to check on him, and he reaches up towards McCoy's throat and grabs it with one hand and puts the scalpel to it with the other. And McCoy,
think you know how hard I am right now.
It's like, choke me, Daddy. He just moans like,
yeah. And Khan recoils like, whoa, Jesus Christ.
oh, you're into that CNC shit, are you? Oh well, let me show you a thing or two. We've had a lot of progress in consensual non-consent in the last 200 years.
He thinks like McCoy is like discreetly putting a knife against his side, like, you know, he's like, well played. But then he looks down, just like his extremely hard dick. So you can see his heartbeat pulsing in the penis, just like it's so hard. He's just like
the stain appears on his already black pants. So McCoy sarcastically tells him to make up his mind to choke him or cut his throat, adding that it would be best if he would cut the carotid artery just under his left ear. Honestly, this is one of Bones' finest moments. It's his will to die that really makes him special.
He's definitely like one of the more hard-boiled doctors in Star Trek.
Yeah,
where he's just like, go ahead, fucking do it,
like
kill me.
You're
doing me a fucking favor.
He would fit in really well on MASH, to be honest. Like the character exactly as he is. Very MASH character, MASH coded. Khan says, "I like a brave man." He just holds the
scalpel against his own throat.
Khan said,
"Fucking do it." You know how long I've dreamed of this.
Khan says, I like a brave man, and lets McCoy take back the scalpel. McCoy tells him he was just trying to avoid an argument. The man says to speak to the he demands to speak with the captain of the vessel, and McCoy tells Kirk, hey, the man wants to talk to you, and he has many questions. Kirk arrives and identifies himself as the captain and asks the man his name. The man asks what the ship's heading is. Kirk says it's Starbase 12, a planet in the Gamma 400 star system, the Enterprise's command base in that sector. The man identifies himself simply as Khan. So Kirk attempts to question Khan further.
That'd be funny if he like introduced himself like the Benedict Cumberbatch Khan. I am Khan.
Yeah, that would have been sick as fuck, man. That would have been so good.
Yeah.
So Kirk attempts to question Khan further, but Khan says he's tired. He says that he was once an engineer of sorts and would very much like to study the ship's technical manuals. Kirk and McCoy show him how to use the computers to access such information. What are you doing? Why are you letting him do this already? You don't have his trust. You're like, what the fuck? He just woke up from 200 years. You think he might have been on a prison ship? And you're like, yeah, here's the fucking blueprints to our ship. What?
Yeah, this makes no sense. Like, I can understand the argument. Like, okay, it's like they're at a point in human history where they kind of have nothing to hide, because I think that was like, kind of like almost Gene's original vision, where it's just like, they're not being naive. They just like, they're just very open with like information and education and everything else. And so it's like everyone is entitled and free to access that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it's at the same time, it's just like, no, it's also a security concern.
Right.
it's like you gotta wonder. It's just like, okay, are they doing it just out of being like enlightened individuals, or are they just like, yeah, as you said, just like willfully ignoring major security protocols and just
definitely
being like,
the latter.
Sure, man, we don't know. Like, I mean, maybe they can assume like, okay, I mean, he's so displaced from time, like what could he possibly do with it? He probably couldn't understand it if he wanted to, not knowing, like, I mean, they kind of like were like, yeah, okay, he's an augment and all this other shit, but still, it's just like, yeah, like, why would you do this? Like, it's something I don't think they would have done in TNG at all.
Definitely not.
It would have been like, I mean, they kind of had that episode, when they unfreeze like the hillbilly, the woman, and the capitalist, and,
right?
And they just show them like the stuff, and it seems like magic to them.
Yeah. But they weren't an augment, though. They weren't super smart.
They weren't an augment, yeah.
So later, McGivers visits Khan, and they gonna be fucking. The writing's on the wall there.
They gonna be fucking.
They gonna be fucking. They gonna be sucking. He gonna bend her over backwards, right in the sonic shower.
Yeah, he's just like, I've memorized part of my magnificent brain. I memorized the Kama Sutra. It's like, I have that. I know every. It's like, and I can physically do every move. She's like, oh god,
I'm gushing.
I'm discovering the female orgasm. Because in the 1960s, they haven't discovered it yet.
That's
like,
true.
This is the point in the future this is the part in the point in the future when they finally do discover it, because Marla McGivern's like, she discovers it personally.
Right, definitely. Yeah, I get to fuck a fascist dictator, gushing. So, in the mess hall,
Want to do a little Hitler play? she puts a little mustache on him.
So, in the mess hall, the crew prepares a party, and McCoy wonders if the Enterprise is hosting a fleet admiral. Kirk replies it was McGiver's idea to welcome Khan to their century. Dressed in the sickest gold Kutra I've ever seen, Khan meets with McGivers in her quarters, decorated with portraits of great conquerors from the past, as well as an unfinished portrait of Khan from the 20th century. Khan tells her that he's honored, but cautions her, such men dare take what they want. And then he fucking kisses her. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's a pretty good line. That's a pretty fucking good line.
Yeah, he just clocked her the moment he walked in, just saw her.
Oh, yeah.
You know, all her paintings, and he was just like, okay.
I get what you're doing here. I get your fetish. Well, I'm going to manipulate you then.
Guess what? I'm Indian Hitler.
So at the banquet, Khan explains the nature of his journey from Earth, going in search of adventure, believing there was nothing left on Earth. Spock comments on the eugenics wars as a conflict to end tyranny, while Khan replies that it was an effort to unite humanity, saying while there were dozens of petty dictatorships, like he would have ruled eventually, like Rome under Caesar, and says, think of its accomplishments. And you know, it's starting to feel a little fashy at this point, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little too.
Oh, just a tiny bit.
Just a tad fascist. Kirk asks why Khan fled, asking if he was afraid, goading Khan to declare, "We offered the world order," to which Kirk responds by asking, "We?" Noting Khan's reference to a master race. Khan congratulates Kirk on his discovery of Khan's intent, then says he feels tired again, and he returns to his quarters.
Congratulations, you sussed out what I was saying in plain English.
Right. He's like, yeah, they're just at dinner, and he's like, I like Nazism, and he's like, wait, do you like Nazism though? And the guy's like, wait, what?
He just starts slow clapping, like. It's like, you figured it out, Kirk, you bastard.
So next, McGivers goes to Khan's quarters and apologizes for how he was treated at dinner, and Khan comments that their reaction is understandable given that he is something of a mystery to them. McGivers confesses she knows exactly who he is and wonders if he is going to like living in her century, to which Khan replies that he will have to remold it to his liking, so he got to make it a little flashy. Khan tells McGivers he intends to take control of the Enterprise and demands her help, and then bullies her into submitting to his desires. And this is a very manipulative scene. It's kind of fun. And she folds like a fucking paper crane. Just, yeah.
She's like...
So, in the briefing room, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and Scotty consult the historical records and determine that the man is none other than Khan Noonien Singh, one of the genetically engineered tyrants. They say tyrant, I don't know about that, of the eugenics wars, and the last to be overthrown. From 92 to 96, while the Beastie Boys were making music, he was absolute ruler of 1/4 of Earth, from Asia to the Middle East. Scotty admits he's had a history crush on him, and he's like, oh, he's a pretty good one. I always liked him. And Kirk's like, yeah, he's one of the better ones, and said that his rule lacked the usual massacres and wars endemic of most tyrants, which makes it sound like he's not really a tyrant. Like he's maybe a good leader. I don't know. I'm like, was he like like a Stalin type? Like, was he just like trying to unite the world under communism or something? And everyone's like, no, you like augments. And he's like, well, yeah, because I am an augment. I don't know. Maybe he's...
Yeah. Yeah, it really paints the eugenics wars in a whole new light of togetherness.
Yeah. So, I mean, what if his thing was like, I want everyone to be like an augment, like you know, this is the next step in like medical technology and like improving infant mortality rates and like making the next wave of people, like you can choose not to be, but you should be, and you can under my universal health care and full communism. Like if that was the case, I'd be like totally on board with, because he doesn't do wars, he doesn't do genocides. Like, I don't know. That sounds pretty good to me. That's a lot better than Joe Biden.
Yeah. Well, we never got, we didn't ever get like the Khan presidency. It's run as a third party.
I could see that happening.
During 96, we got Ross Perot.
It was 92.
That was 92. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
my apologies.
It's okay.
Oh, maybe. Well, he got blasted into space in 96, so maybe he did run for the 92 presidential campaign.
Oh, maybe. Who knows? I mean, he's not eligible because
in
he's
real
Indian.
in Trek history, it was instead of like he killed and ate Ross Perot, and he was a third party ticket.
So Spock says that Khan also severely curtailed freedoms and is alarmed at the romantic tone humans have towards Khan. Kirk replies that they can be against him and admire him at the same time, especially that ass, Kirk says. And Bones is like, preach, brother.
Oh, yeah.
So Spock calls this illogical, and Kirk agrees. The captain then orders security to place a 24-hour guard on Khan's quarters, effective immediately. Kirk then goes to visit Khan, who's wearing a Starfleet uniform, a red shirt, so he go die. He go die now. Mm-hmm. He says he's lost in thought. He comments on his door being locked from the outside with a guard posted. Kirk sarcastically says it's unusual treatment for Khan, Nooney, and Sang, and wishes to know the truth about Khan's departure from Earth. Khan replies that he and his followers sought a new life and a chance to build a new world, plus, quote-unquote, other things. He did not believe Kirk would understand because he's mentally and physically inferior. Which, I don't know, that sucks, man. That's pretty ableist, man. Khan then comments on...
I'm starting to think this eugenics guy is bad.
Yeah, right? Khan then comments on how little mankind has changed despite its technical advancements, and that he and his people will do well in this century. Kirk leaves. Khan breaks out of his quarters by forcing the sliding door open with his bare hands because he's strong as fuck, and then he knocks out the guard and takes his phaser because he's strong as fuck. Elsewhere, McGivers holds Transporter Chief Kyle at phaser point, beaming Khan over to the Botany Bay to revive his people. Security immediately alerts Kirk that Khan has escaped. And then immediately communications become jammed, and the turbo lifts are disabled, and life support on the bridge is cut off. Kirk calls engineering to find out what the fuck is going on, but is answered by Khan, who now controls engineering with his followers and has cut off all the life support, demanding that Kirk surrender the ship to him or die. Pretty heavy, man. Pretty heavy. This Khan guy.
Pretty heavy shit.
This Khan guy doesn't seem very nice, does he? The bridge crew suffocates to the point of passing out. Kirk and Spock are the last to go unconscious, and before passing out, Kirk makes a log entry and states he takes full responsibility for Khan taking over the ship. And then he's like, I also recommend commendations for, and then he names like every officer on the ship, and I'm like, dude, you've only got so much air. So when the crew awakens, they are being held at phaser point by Khan's men in the briefing room, while Khan holds Kirk captive in McCoy's decompression chamber, which is where McCoy goes to be baby. It feels like being in the womb, Jim. You wouldn't understand. So the
Parents just won't understand.
If you fill it with
Beastie Boys. Parents just don't understand.
That
Beastie Boys.
That was Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Oh, damn.
It's okay.
Well, see, in the Star Trek world, Beastie Boys also did that song.
Oh, okay. I like that. Okay. We'll go with that. Yeah. Sure. That makes sense.
Will Smith was summarily executed in the eugenics wars.
Are you retconning a white man into stealing a black man's music again?
Yeah.
What the fuck? So the rest of the bridge crew are in the briefing room and have to watch a video screen that shows Kirk suffocating in the decompression chamber. Khan threatens to kill the captain unless the bridge crew cooperates with him. None of the captive crew agree to join him, and Khan becomes infuriated, threatening them all with suffocation. McGivers excuses herself, unable to watch the torture of Kirk in the way Khan's henchman treats Uhura, because he hits her in the face. As Khan continues to rage, the video screen goes blank as the channel to the decompression chamber is cut. The henchman tries to force Uhura to regain the picture, but she refuses to help, and he prepares to strike her once again. Khan stops the henchman with a gesture, telling the crew that Kirk is dead and Spock will be the next to die. So, meanwhile, McGivers comes to Kirk's aid by using a hypo spray to knock out the guard. She frees Kirk and urges him not to hurt Khan. I'm like, I mean, it's fair game at this point. Like, you gotta probably hurt him in order to, like, you know, get him away. Like, gotta hurt him in some way. Spock and an augment arrive just then, and Kirk surprises and confronts Khan's man, who is subsequently incapacitated by Spock with the Vulcan pinch. In the briefing room, what are the? I mean, like, you know when you pinch a nerve, what do the Vulcans call that? If they don't, if this is their nerve pinch, right? Do they call that a human nerve pinch?
Maybe.
So in
like, they're just like, like, I pulled a mind meld. I got mind meld damage.
So in the briefing room, Khan realizes that something is wrong when he cannot contact his men. Kirk and Spock flood the ship with knockout gas, but Khan is able to avoid the gas by escaping to engineering and cutting it off, rigging the ship to blow up with an overload. An overload of loads of just bukkake. It's going to bukkake the ship apart. So Kirk,
we're gonna over McCoy's crib.
Baby made a big mess. Kirk rushes to stop Khan with a phaser, but Khan ambushes the captain and crushes the phaser with his bare hands. With Kirk eventually using a makeshift club to knock Khan out. Later, at a formal hearing, Kirk drops all charges against Khan and his people, considering it a waste to put Khan in a penal colony, and gives him the offer of taming the uninhabited world of Ceti Alpha 5, an offer that Khan accepts, referencing the quote from Milton's Paradise Lost that it's better to rule in hell than to serve in heaven. Interesting. I love that quote. Marla McGivers is given the option.
And that quote comes up again in what we're going to review next in The Crow.
It does, yeah.
Paradise Lost.
Yeah. So Khan warns her it will be difficult at first to survive. Marla McGivers is given the option of court-martial or accompanying Khan and his people to Ceti Alpha 5. Khan warns her it's going to be difficult, but Marla chooses to join him anyway. As soon as Khan and his people leave, Kirk and Spock express an interest in returning to Ceti Alpha 5 in 100 years. Come on, you're not going to be alive, Kirk. Get out of here. Although, I don't know, I guess, it is... We are 60 years after the show aired, almost. And fucking Kirk is still alive, so who knows how long that motherfucker's going to live.
That motherfucker lives forever.
Right.
Like, they all pretty much do.
Not all
Even
of them.
Scotty.
Bones died super early.
Scotty. Yeah, but Bones is in the TNG era.
Oh, yeah, the TNG people. Yeah, they're all pretty old. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as soon as Khan and his people leave, Kirk and Spock express interest on going there in 100 years to see what crop will sprout from the seed that they planted. And we all know how that turned out. And I love that Kirk is really interested in the seed they planted here, but he's not so interested in the one he planted into multiple women, and the sons and daughters he may have.
It's like, hey, those people that, had a very serious threat to all of humanity, like 200 years ago? what if we just let them, have a planet with unrestrained, with no observation, and allow them to one day try to overthrow us again at some point.
This is literally like putting Hitler on trial and deciding his punishment is he gets a big island. like what are you doing? What are you doing here?
Yeah, like Napoleon.
Right, exactly.
Except
very much like
um,
Napoleon.
Except it's like all of these people who are massively intelligent and could possibly find a way to steal a starship or have their own, and fairly soon.
Right.
You already basically memorized the entire like enterprise data banks and shit, so you probably can do it pretty easy.
Probably. He's that smart. We love an augment, but not when they're a fascist augment. We only like them when they're the Dr. Julian Bashir type. Yeah, so that's that episode. What do you think?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, like, it gave us, one of the best Star Trek movies ever made. So
one of them.
It's yeah. I know you probably hold 5 in higher regard, but like
similar regard. Similar.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely like one of the more iconic ones that definitely like. I like that they revisited this story and just showed how incompetent Kirk was at this moment, where he didn't bother to tell anyone about this. He's just like, he didn't tell any of his superiors. He didn't put out a space buoy or anything just to like, to alert people of the existence that they were there. Mm-hmm. So no one knew. Like, he just did this. He made this executive decision to just abandon people on a planet, and then just like went on with his day, and no one knew about it.
Right.
Like, you think like this would be like, again, like we're talking about security concerns, this would be a massive security concern to the Federation. And like, oh, you had Hitler, and you just let Hitler and all of his people stay on a planet. And also, like, that's the thing, Marla McGivers went with them. Mm-hmm. And she's a Federation officer who knows like in and outs, and could possibly, give.
Well, let's be fair. Let's be fair. She's a historian. Like, what's she gonna tell them? Like, the history of fucking the Federation? Come on.
Yeah, but still, she could have done something. So it's like, this is pretty incompetent on Kirk's part. He's not a great captain, honestly.
Yeah, I really like this episode. I give this one a solid 8 out of 10. I mean, it's iconic. Yeah. It introduces a really great villain with like interesting motives, and we'd love to see this story like resolved to, like, as you said, it's one of the best Star Trek films. Not my favorite one, but easily one of the best. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it rules. I mean, I think we saw it in theaters.
We
re-released.
We did, yeah.
I remember.
For 40th anniversary or something like that.
It was awesome in theaters.
Hell yeah, it was. Yeah. It was great, great restoration of that film. All right, well, we got anything else to say on this bad boy?
No, go enjoy Space Seed if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah, it's a good one. Well, if you would enjoy this podcast, please go like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get podcasts, or wherever you plan to get podcasts, or wherever you think podcasts might be. Podcasts.
Wherever you think they might sprout up in the wild.
Right.
Just go pick a wild podcast.
Right. Wherever you plant your podcast seeds, go get them there. Yeah. My name has been Britton.
And I have been Pat.
Thanks for hanging with us, Soyagers.
Yeah. Thanks for trekking with us, soy boys, girls, and whirly beans.
A hang dong and shaka.
Hang dong and shocker.
Soy, 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 soy.